Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for giving such a positive response on my testing videos. So thank you so much for that. What we were doing in our previous video was we were doing API testing and we did the mocking of the success of our API request. In today's video, I'm going to show you that how you will be testing the error state of your API. Now, why the error state is important? If you remember from our last video, I showed you that when you do TDD, how much requirement gaps come. Example, the requirement you will get is do a API request and update the UI or create the UI. However, there is no requirement that would there be a loading state, what will happen if the error will come. These are the requirement gaps which you can fill by TDD or by writing the test cases. So again, I'm just repeating the same thing, that error state, you will not be getting a requirement, but this is obvious that if there would be any error from your API request, how you are going to handle that. So in our example of the component list, we have already showed this, we have already written this code that if there would be error, we will show error. But now we need to check this, okay? So what we are going to do, we are again going to do the mocking. So we will create a error mocking function. And what will happen? We are going to do the same thing. We will do the API request and we are going to make it fail. And then we are going to test that if it is API request is giving an error or failing, is our error state is coming or not. So this is what we are going to do. We already know how to make a mock function. So what we are going to do is, I will copy this, put it here, and this, instead of mocking success, we will write this is error, and instead of success, we will do error. And now here what we are going to do is, so this is, there are few changes. The first thing is, we are not going to have a mock data, right? We can just have data. I will talk about this later. Then we will have status code. Here we will have, instead of resolve, we will have reject. And here in OK, we are going to check this status code. There would be a condition, I will come back to that. And what we are going to do is, when we are resolving, we are going to show this data, okay? We will come back to this. I will explain you in more detail. But first, we are going to go here and copy this whole test case, write it here, should do successful, should show error on fetch request, okay? Now here what we are going to do is, we are going to have the same thing. We are going to have our, instead of success, we are going to have this mock. So put it here. Now here we need two things. We need data and we need status. So in the data, what we are going to do is, we are just going to give undefined. That's it. This is what we are going to do. We want our error state to come. So undefined. And in the status code, we are going to pass 404 because we want to fail it. Then what we are going to do? Same thing. We are going to do render list. We are going to do our API request. Once this is there, loading request is going. Then what we are going to do is, we are going to wait for. Here what I'm going to do is, because this is going to be an error state, I will put it in try and catch. In here, I'm not doing anything. It's okay. This await block, I will put it here. And now what will happen is, here, now what we need to test? We need to test the error state. So what will happen? We need to put error. And we will have error message and error message, okay? So again, let's have a recap. We are doing almost everything same as we have done in success, but here because we wanted to show an error, we will be passing undefined and 404. Everything is fine. Here we are going to do a try and catch, same, and at the end it should show us the error, okay? Let's go back here and let's see now what will happen. So here we will get undefined. So when our promise is resolved, we will get undefined because it's an error stage. The status is 404. What we will be doing is, we will be doing one more check in our OK. what we are going to do is, because we want to simulate the environment that our API is failing, so what we are going to do, we are going to say if status is greater than or equal to 200 and status is less than 3, then it should fail. Okay, so let's go here, let's test it. And you can see everything is passing. So this is how you simulate the error state also. Right now what I have done is I have hard coded my error, my loading state. What you can do is you can make a string of this and you can customize. Here you can pass the error state also, error message also, what message you want to pass. You can also pass your headers. So if you want to mimic your headers, you can do it here. You can do that also. So based on your API request and what complication, what more requirements you have in this promise.reject, you can take care of that. So I hope this was helpful. Now what you have done so far, if you will take a step back, you will be able to do a API testing. So whenever you are doing a fetch request, get, you can do the success and the error one, and these functions are basically your reusable one. So you can write it once and use it multiple times. Even though anyone is not asking you for the test cases, you should do it. It is not a requirement, you should do it. If it is not implemented in your project, the testing has not been implemented in your project, my request is take the initiative and do it. I showed you for the fetch. I think I already mentioned earlier also. For Axios also, you have to do the same thing. You need to mock the Axios request, error state and success state. For that, you already get the packages. You can search for that Axios mocking function, read the documentation, and all you need to do is just do the same thing. So once you have understood how API testing work, it would be a piece of cake for you to implement it in any way. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Now in next video, what we are gonna do is we are gonna learn about the post. This was get, so now what we are gonna do, post. So I will see you in the next video. And I have one request. I'm trying to reach to the 1000 subscriber. So if you could just share within your organization, in your team, in your network, over LinkedIn, Twitter, Reddit, wherever you are, to be honest, just help me in reaching out to 1000 subscribers. That would be great. And thank you so much. Take care.